Welcome back to downtown St. Pete and the summer edition of What's New in 23. In this episode, we're going to be taking you to 8 more new businesses around downtown, but we are going to be doing things a little bit differently in this episode, and we'll tell you more about that after our first stop, which is brunch.
Our Saturday morning brunch spot took us to 312 3rd Street South, where right next to the downtown Publix and CVS, you'll find Taylor Sam's. Opened in May of 2023, this new home-style breakfast and brunch cafe is just the second Taylor Sam's location and the first outside of New Jersey. We decided to start our brunch off with a specialty latte, of which we found 4 flavors to choose from, all for $5 or less. We settled on the Path Train Iced Latte, a hazelnut latte with caramel, and a very generous topping of whipped cream.
So I have no idea how I'm actually supposed to drink this. There's so much whipped cream. I guess I'll just eat some of the caramel and whipped cream off top. Yeah, there's no way I can drink it like this.
But I was just fine with having to eat a little caramel-covered whipped cream before drinking our latte, which had a robust espresso flavor and just the right amount of sweetness. While the latte was great, we were even more excited for the food, from which we had an impressive variety of breakfast and lunch options to choose from. I ordered the breakfast sandwich known as the Sizzler, which included sausage, egg, and cheese on a homemade cheddar jalapeno biscuit. Skylar went with the #delicious, an egg and home fry skillet with corned beef, onions, and peppers on rye toast. Skylar decided to eat his meal as a sandwich, which was delicious but also quite messy, and not our recommended way to do it.
I think Jamie has a little better plan for eating this thing than I had.
Maybe, we'll see.
Much less messy, huh?
Next up was the Sizzler, which while quite massive, was also a bit of a challenge to eat.
The biscuit's good, but I can taste the sausage mostly. Very flavorful.
Can you taste the jalapeno at all?
I think it's a little spicy, just a bit.
And while Skylar was hoping the biscuit would be a bit more spicy, he agreed that the sausage was outstanding and that the Sizzler overall was a great sandwich.
Considering its great location right downtown, we actually found the prices at Taylor Sam's to be pretty reasonable, especially that biscuit sandwich and the latte. But most of the spots we've been visiting around downtown St. Pete lately have been getting pretty pricey.
Doesn't tell you more about it, but it's raining now.
Yeah, the wind picked up significantly. Now, in full transparency, the last few episodes of this series have made us around $250 a piece on average. And since we're trying not to make videos that actually lose us money anymore, the budget for this episode is going to be $200 before taxes and tips. And since we already spent $29 at Taylor Sam's, that leaves us with $171 to go.
If you're enjoying this video so far and would like to receive notifications of our future St. Pete content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn the notifications on. Our second stop of the day took us west to the Grand Central District, where at 2900 Central Avenue, you'll find Mutts & Martinis. Recently opened in May of 2023, this new spot provides a great place to take your dog on a hot Florida day, as well as a place to grab a cold beer, a specialty drink, or a martini. We found the inside space of Mutts & Martinis to be quite spacious and full of big screen TVs, making it a good place to bring a large group to watch the game or to keep an eye on your dog outside while enjoying a drink in the cold AC. And speaking of outside, that's where all the action happens, and it's here that you'll find the Dog Water Park, the first of its kind in St. Pete. We learned that Mutts & Martinis rotates its pool time between large and small dogs, giving each of them ample opportunity to relax or burn some energy around the pool. And just in case you were wondering, the pool is for dogs only.
We just left Mutts & Martinis, and it was nice that they offered a full bar and also a lot of space, but definitely the main attraction there was that doggy pool. So whether you're local here to St. Pete or just visiting the area with your dog, you will want to visit their website and fill out the dog registration forms ahead of time.
Since I ordered one of the cheapest mixed drinks for $10 and Jamie spent just $3 on her juice, we only spent $13 at that place, bringing our total up to $42, giving us $158 left in our budget to go.
Our third new St. Pete destination had us heading back east to downtown St. Pete, where at 16 2nd Street North, you'll find downtown's newest nightclub, Goodnight John Boy. Walking through the doors of Goodnight John Boy was a bit like walking into a time warp, with a 70s disco awaiting us on the other side. And while Skylar was a bit skeptical of this new St. Pete spot, he was quickly won over when he discovered an entire section of their menu devoted to Miller High Life. And of course, he could not pass up on this massive 32-ounce bottle, which he enjoyed from up on the second level. We learned that the second level can be booked for parties, but on this night it was open to the public and was a great place to dance, grab a drink, and watch all the people getting down on the dance floor from above. Speaking of the dance floor, Goodnight John Boy's is easily the coolest we've ever seen, as the entire tile floor is lit up in neon lights. Other things we loved about Goodnight John Boy included the random owls, the records on the wall, and of course the disco balls. We should note that when we arrived at 7:30 on a Saturday, there was no line or cover charge, but the place was already pretty hopping. But by around 9, the club was absolutely packed, so much so that some people had to dance on the furniture. At this time, there was also a line of probably around 40 people long, and a cover charge of $10 for guys was in effect. Goodnight John Boy is open Thursday through Monday. Hours can be found at goodnightjb.com. Our next stop of the night is not at all new and was not at all planned, but when there's a free Led Zeppelin cover band concert next door, you have to pay it a visit. And what was even better about this free show is that they were also giving away free beer. And while this beer was no champagne of beers, Skylar sure couldn't complain about the price.
So after dancing at Goodnight John Boy and enjoying free live music and beers at Janice, it is 9:30 and we are finally hungry again. But that works out great because our last stop of today actually stays open until 11 and it's right behind me.
Our late night dinner spot takes us to 201 2nd Avenue North, where at the location of the former Second and Second Diner, you'll find Dirty Shirley. Opened in June of 2023, this 70s-inspired diner, named after the Dirty Shirley cocktail, offers brunch from 9 to 4 and dinner from 5 to 11, 7 days a week. Here you'll also find some Shirley Temple decor, a bar serving up craft cocktails, and a spacious outdoor lounge to enjoy them in. But we had come to Dirty Shirley for the food, and even at around 10 in the evening, we found no shortage of delicious-sounding options. We decided to go with everything pigs in a blanket, deviled eggs of the week, and blackened shrimp po' boy. The deviled eggs came out first and included smoked salmon and capers. And if these weren't the best deviled eggs we've ever had, they were definitely close to it. Next up were the pigs in a blanket, which we both loved as kids, but neither of us had had in a while. And while these were probably our least favorite of the three dishes, they were still pretty fancy for pigs in a blanket. Last up was the shrimp po' boy, which came on a super soft bun with perfectly blackened shrimp and was pretty much everything you'd want a shrimp po' boy to be.
We just left Dirty Shirley, and just like Goodnight John Boy, it had a really cool retro vibe. It also has some very unique menu items that of course we had to try. And this time we agreed that our favorite had to be those deviled eggs with smoked salmon and capers.
Those deviled eggs were a little bit pricey, but totally worth it. And we only ended up spending $36 at Dirty Shirley, which brings our total for the day up to $92 and gives us $108 left in the budget for tomorrow. Now we do have 3 meals planned for tomorrow, so it's gonna be a little bit tricky to stay in the budget, but we do have a couple tricks up our sleeve. So hopefully we'll be able to make it work. Good morning, guys. Before we head to our 5th spot, we got to mention that this is actually our 10th episode of the What's New in St. Pete series. It's hard to believe we actually started this series way back in February of 2021, and since then I think we've taken you to over 50 or so businesses here in the downtown St. Pete area.
And that is not the only thing that we are celebrating this weekend, because yesterday we hit 25,000 subscribers, and that is a huge milestone for us. So we want to thank you all for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing our videos, and for anything else that you have done to help our channel grow. We cannot wait to see what the future brings.
Our first day 2 stop and 5th overall takes us 2 miles south of downtown, where you'll find an old spot that's doing something brand new at the Chataway.
So the Chataway has been in business in St. Pete since 1951, but the reason we're including it in this What's New episode is because as of this weekend, they are offering something completely new, which is a breakfast buffet on Saturdays and Sundays.
We just got to the Chataway to try their brand new breakfast buffet, but totally forgot that they are a cash-only establishment, but thankfully they do have an ATM inside.
The Chataway's ATM is located right off of their interior dining space, and unlike the outside space, which is full of old Florida charm, this inside space is full of old British charm. In fact, this space hosts a traditional English afternoon tea between 12:30 and 4, Wednesday through Sunday. Back outside, we were hungry and excited to dig into this Southern-style breakfast buffet.
So starting off, we've got some scrambled eggs. Next are the home fries, which I have heard are really good. Then we've got chicken strips, grits, and shrimp. And there's also bacon, sausage, and sausage gravy. Next to that are the biscuits. And last, we've got the French toast. Now, I believe this buffet will change on a weekly basis, so it's not going to be the same every time you visit. For more information, we'd recommend visiting the Chataway's Facebook page. Even though we've already had way more than we typically eat for breakfast, we had to go back and get a little bit more of our favorite items. So we have got French toast, a chicken strip, home fries, and shrimp.
The Chataway offers its breakfast buffet each Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to noon. The price is $16.95 per person, and don't forget to bring cash.
After spending $34 on breakfast at the Chataway, our total amount spent is up to $126 before taxes and tips, meaning we have just $74 more to spend on 3 more spots.
Now, I think we're actually sitting really good when it comes to the budget, because our 6th stop we actually went to yesterday. Now, we did choose to leave a tip, but that doesn't come out of our pre-tax and tip budget, and we'll show you that experience right now.
Our free Saturday morning activity took us to the Warehouse Arts District, where right across the street from Three Daughters Brewing, you'll find the brand new Beach Town Yoga. On this first Saturday in July, they were having a free grand opening class, and I was pretty excited to be there. And while Skylar wasn't quite as enthused as I was to experience our first hot yoga class, he was willing to take one for the team. We soon realized that this was going to be an extremely popular event, as more and more people kept rolling in.
I really can't believe how many people they're able to cram in.
With the studio absolutely packed and really starting to heat up, it was time for some free giveaways before starting the class.
Corey, come find me after class. Come find me after class. We'll get you your stuff.
The class started off pretty hot and pretty relaxed, but both the heat and the intensity would soon pick up. By the time the hour-long class came to an end, we were both dripping in sweat and actually quite excited to go stand out in the rain.
So Beach Town Yoga is St. Pete's first and only donation-based yoga studio, and that's going to be good for a lot of people. First, if you enjoy hot yoga, they do offer monthly memberships. Next, if you are new to yoga and just want to try out some different classes and different instructors, those donation-based classes will be a good option. And lastly, if you're here just visiting, it's a great option to just pop in last minute when you're ready for a break from the beach.
Now let's take a minute to talk about hot yoga. First of all, I've only done 1 yoga class in my entire life, and that was a few years ago, so I was a little hesitant to do this one. But since it's a brand new studio and this channel is about trying new things, I decided I'd give it a try. And Jamie didn't even tell me it was a hot yoga class until about an hour beforehand. And my initial thought was, why would anyone want to go into a hot room to do yoga in Florida in the summertime? And it was extremely hot, it was uncomfortable, and I think I sweat more than I've ever sweat in my entire life. But that being said, I do feel great now, and I'd probably actually do it again.
Our 7th new St. Pete spot takes us back to the Grand Central District, where at 1990 Central Avenue, you'll find House of Vegano, a 100% plant-based restaurant serving Japanese-inspired cuisine. While House of Vegano has been in St. Pete for a few years, its Central Avenue location is brand new. We really enjoyed the atmosphere at this spot, which included this beautiful mural on the back wall and a floor made out of pink Himalayan salt. After scanning the barcode for our menu, we placed our order at the counter and found ourselves a seat. In what seemed like no time at all, our order was ready, which included the House of Vegano dumplings and the Baked Alaska sushi roll. The sushi roll was stuffed with cucumber and avocado and topped with a jackfruit salad, spicy mayo, sriracha, and eel sauce. It was totally unlike any sushi roll we'd ever tried before and was also totally delicious. The dumplings, meanwhile, came stuffed with portobello mushrooms and were topped with a fantastic Thai chili sauce. And while they were a bit challenging to eat with chopsticks, that didn't stop us from enjoying every last one. House of Vegano is open Friday through Monday. Hours can be found at houseofvegano.com.
We just left House of Vegano, and Skylar loves dumplings, so it is no surprise that those were his favorite. But my favorite was the Alaska roll. Here they use jackfruit instead of crab meat, and from our experience today, we are even more excited to try other dishes with jackfruit because it was delicious.
We spent $31 at House of Vegano, which brings our total spent up to $157 before tax and tip, and leaves us with $43 left in our budget to spend at our final stop. And since we're going to be visiting during happy hour, we think it's going to get us quite a bit.
We've arrived at our last stop, but before we show you what it is, we wanted to let you know that we are planning a meetup in the near future. So if that's something you're interested in, keep an eye out for a future community post with more information. And if you are somebody that watches our channel on your TV, you will want to log into your YouTube app on your phone periodically just to make sure you won't miss it.
Our 8th new St. Pete destination takes us just a half-mile west, where at 2701 Central Avenue, you'll find Baba Restaurant. While Baba's main restaurant is far from new, its tin fish and raw bar next door sure is. Named Barboni after a popular fish in Greece, the new concept currently offers a little-known happy hour from 5 to 7 on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, when visitors can get half-off sparkling wines, in addition to $2 oysters. We decided to order some mixed olives, Dorade crudo, and 6 happy hour oysters. The oysters were mild and both a little sweet and salty, and Skylar really enjoyed them with Baba's house-made hot sauce. But Skylar's favorite of the 3 was the Dorade crudo, a raw Mediterranean fish topped with grapefruit, saffron, and fennel. And since sometimes raw seafood just isn't my thing, what I enjoyed most were the olives, which were actually quite flavorful and left us with $7 to spare in our budget. Now, if you want to see around 60 or so other amazing spots that are new to St. Pete within the last few years, then go ahead and click on this playlist next. Thanks for watching!